Hello everybody, I am Coach Sonny and I'm going to walk you through one of our coding assignments. If you're watching the previous video, Steven had told us to go to a GitHub link, which is where he hosts all his code, and look at the XML code that he made so he can make his videos faster. I looked through it and it's a bit advanced, so because this is a beginner class, I made a similar example but using the WeScheme website, which we've used for some other assignments. And in this website, I made some code that makes a very simple smiley face without actually a smile. It's just a head and eyes. And I'm going to really quickly go through it, and then we'll discuss how everything's connected. So how the function definition connects to another function, and then at the end renders the whole image, which was the main point of the XML exercise that he created. So let's start over here. On line 1 and 2, I have a definition, and this is just making a solid black circle of size 7, and I called it I. So this means whenever in my code I use the word I, it'll render one of these black circles. And then I made something called an I gap because I needed to have a space in between the two eyes right there. So it's just making a transparent circle of size 15 so that they're separated enough. And then I defined something called eyes, which uses the eye definitions on top and the eye gap, like this. The function beside puts images next to each other. So that way I have an eye, which is a black circle, and I have a transparent gap, and then I have another eye. So that's what creates this image right here. And then I want to put those eyes on top of the face. Down here, I have my face definition, which is just a solid yellow circle of size 50, which I called face. But then I also made something called nose gap, which is a transparent circle. And that is because if I don't have the nose gap, this is what happens. So I'll comment it out. And oops, let me fix this real quick. Like that. It looks ugly, but just so you know, so you see what is happening. Like that. So because it's overlaying them, it puts them right in the middle, but I want the eyes to be a bit higher up, right? So they're in the actual spot where the eyes are located in our face. So let me put that code back. So that's why I make the nose gap. So I have the nose gap in the face, and then, like I was saying, I use the overlay function to put the eyes and the nose image on top of the face. Because I want the eyes and nose to be one single image, I use the above function to put it on top of each other. And when I run that, it makes our face. So let me now really quickly change the transparency to red so you get an idea of what it looks like. So this is my eye gap, which is a circle inside. And then this is my nose gap, which makes the image be centered to my face. And I'll change that back and run it like that. Okay, so now that we somehow understand the code, let's go over it over here. So I just made a screenshot of my code and put it in Paint so I can draw lines on top of that. So let's start all the way at the bottom. And actually, I'm missing a parenthesis right here. Oops. That should be closing right there. I didn't copy the whole thing. Cool. So this is the last step that runs in my code that makes my face show up. Okay? And now let's look at each part of that. I have a face, and then I have this other thing, which is like the eyes and nose gap combination. My face is defined here. And my eyes nose gap are defined over here. And my nose gap is defined right there. Okay, so I'm just drawing lines so you see how everything is connected, and eventually it makes our face. Our face and nose gap are just circles, nothing else to explain there, but my eyes are a combination of something else. My eyes are a combination of one eye gap, and then another eye. The eye gap is defined up here, which is, like I mentioned, a transparent circle. And then the other eyes, or the single eye, is defined here. So they're both the same. I just made one eye definition, which means whenever I say eye, you'll draw a black solid circle of size 7. Okay? So then that is how the code or the computer reads the code. It starts on the bottom, in this case, and it first uses the overlay and above functions, which is something defined. The computer knows what that means, but it doesn't know what eyes and nose gap mean. So I have to define that. I have to tell the computer what to do when I say the word eyes or nose gap or face. And that's what I did right here. Face is a circle, a yellow circle. Nose gap is a transparent circle. And then eyes is another set of circles. So if you look at the lines, let me clear this image. Let's start again. I'll just do this like one last time real quick. I have my circle here that gets made from this code right there. Overlay face. I'll use yellow now. My face is being defined up here. Face. My nose gap is defined over here. And then those are easy because they're just circles. But then eyes is a combination of something else. Eyes is a combination of two eyes, which are being defined all the way on top, right there, and a eye gap, which is just to make sure that the eyes are separated from each other, right? And that is the flow of this simple program. So that was the purpose of the exercise, was to understand how code flows, how the computer reads it, and it makes something. In this case, it makes a simple smiley face without a smile by using this code. So now I want you guys to go to the website that I'll put in the assignment and type this code up and see if you can change the colors of the eyes or the face, if you can add a smile, if you can add a nose, if you can make the eyes bigger or the face bigger. So just go ahead and practice by changing the code and seeing what works. That's going to be all for this assignment. Talk to you guys later.